Okay. Something up with my camera, maybe. That looks like a green screen issue. All right, that works. Okay. Hello, everyone. We're playing in the Pioneer Challenge on Saturday. What day is it? Saturday, December 7th. We're going to play some Is It Lotus? Patron saint of that deck right now. Also here, we're playing Ginkgo's last build. I guess while we're waiting for the event to start, we can show off the deck list. Ooh, thank you for the sub. Sorry, I'm a little bit of a mess right now. I can't quite make out the name of the person who subbed, but we will figure that out. Activity feed. Tyranno Tycoon. That's who it was. Thank you so much for the resub. Welcome. I did some work on the YouTube side of the stream yesterday. There was a lot of latency. People were saying that the YouTube stream was like a full minute behind the Twitch stream. It turns out that YouTube doesn't have a low latency mode when you're broadcasting them in 4K. So I tried to compromise. We're going to broadcast to YouTube in 1440p and see if that helps. And if that doesn't work, we can go down to 1080p. I'm also recording locally in 4K just in case. What are we doing here? There we go. That looks okay. We're up against the Big Moke. Let's see if we can see what they've been playing recently. Deck search player, the Big Moke. Very consistently Dimir aggro the entire time. We have a no lander, so we'll ship this one back. We're also on the draw, which stings. This hand is also pretty bad. It does have interaction for an early creature. We have the Lotus Field. Lotus Field does some work to get us towards our dig through time, so I guess it's a keep. And we'll ship back one of these lands. Fairy Miscreant. Okay, Sleight of Hand's a pretty good place to start. Yeah, I think I'd rather bounce something next turn than this turn. We already have one Lotus Field. I think I'll take Vizier. And we'll say go. And Thoughtseize. Okay. We'll see what they take. Dig through time makes some sense, but Floodmaw keeps us alive a little longer. Double Fairy Miscreant's cute. Holding up Floodmaw might have been smart, but like they would have Thoughtseized, we would have had to bounce the Miscreant, and it's not like a huge inconvenience to them because these things aren't super expensive. I think I'm supposed to play Riverglide Pathway on blue here. And the point is that I want the Spire Bluff Canal to be able to play after we play the Lotus Field. We are priced into bouncing just about anything they play here. That's cute. So There's no way we can stop this. Unfortunately. They're going to draw a card off of this. Couldn't bounce both of these. Problem is if I bounce one of these now, they just get to draw another card when they replay it. Let's look at their list and see how much interaction they're running. They have no counter spells of any kind in the main deck. Okay, they bin a land off of the Surveil land. Hold up 1 mana. Don't really think I'm down to bounce any of these. Yeah, just bouncing any of these seems bad. We'll just untap. So we can play Lotus Field and cycle Vizier if we want. Probably, I think, better to just hold Vizier for a future turn. Yeah, just play Lotus Field and sack these lands. Satoru. All right. I mean, they're drawing a lot of cards. All right, so I think this cycle is basically free. We are starting to be under enough pressure that I think we should try to go for it. Pour. Let's try again. Sleight of hand. Is it better to start with sleight of hand, or is it better to try to pour right away? If we pour and find artist talent, then sleight of hand's pretty good. If we sleight of hand first, then it becomes more difficult to cast the pour. So I think we pour first. All right. So we found Thespian Stage, which we can't play. Next turn we'll be able to do that. Can they kill us next turn? Seems hard. What do they have in terms of, like... They can play a Kaido next turn and Anthem the team. If they do that, this will be 2, 4, 7, 10. This is not a ninja, so it would just be 10 damage. I doubt they can kill me with a Floodmaw. So let's start with Sleight of Hand and see if we can find... I just consider is mildly better. Yeah, maybe we even use Otawara here. We'll see. We need some pieces, right? We need to find artist talent. We need to find some number of strings, but we have tools. I feel like we're in an okay spot. Mockingbird just becomes a copy of Fairy Miscreant, so I think we're fine with that. I assume. I guess they could make it a copy of the Hacker. Yeah, no, they just want another card. That's fine. So no pump. We go to 7. There's maybe even a world where we survive another turn. Drawing so many cards. Okay, so interesting spot here. No need to bounce anything, but we can. I think we're supposed to dig with Consider for some effect that untaps things. Okay, so we didn't find it. How much damage is this next turn? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's lethal on board. It's also, at this point, probably lethal through a bounce spell as well. We're 1 land short of just playing this Lotus Field, which stinks. We just need 1 more turn. I guess we could maybe have 1 more turn. We have Otawara and Floodmaw. We can maybe live. Because otherwise, we're playing Thespian Stage and casting Pour. And what do we need to happen then? Quite a bit, I think. So if we bounce Hacker, Satoru, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. If they play another Kaito, that's not enough. Like they'll Anthem the team, they'll be able to kill us. They'll do 8. And I feel like that, given the number of cards they have, that's a pretty likely outcome. So I think I have to go for it here. And we can always bail if we need to. I guess we can't, right? We can't always bail. Because we won't have 5 mana for Otawara and Floodmaw. See if they have a counter. I mean, their deck list doesn't show any. But they could have added some. So we have Pyre plus Floodmaw here. But only if we untap the canal and not the stage. I really want to deploy the Artist Talent here, but I think we just have to chill. I think we will probably need both of these things to stay alive. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We need to bounce 4 points of damage, and we can. And we do this now, I think, so they can't ninjutsu in response. They're even attacking with the Ornithopter, which is a little sketchy. Already feeling like I need to play faster. Oh, did I just leave myself dead? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? No. Okay, now it's now or never. That's going to make it harder. Honestly, I'm a little happier that they took that than the Artist Talent. Okay, well, let's start here. Looking for a strings effect. I think that's got to go to the bin. Yeah, still got to find a hidden strings effect. We did, but don't have enough mana because this comes in tapped. Right. Yeah. Damn, so close. Okay. That's frustrating. Dimir stuff. Let's see what they've got in the sideboard. They have 2 Dreams of Steel and Oil, 2 Spell Pierce, 2 Stroke, 4 Leyline of the excuse me, 4 Leyline of the Void. Okay. I don't know about the Leyline of Sanctities yet. Pretty sure we want Niv. Fiery Impulse seems good. Anger of the Gods also seems okay-ish, but I'm not sure. We want Dispute. Reversal? Is Reversal any good? I don't think so. So, need 5 cuts. What should they be? Like Flood Maw's not at its best. Pocket Awakening is fine. Bond of Insight is like slow, expensive sorcery and not really what we're doing with Niv. Leyline of the Void, I think, makes these dig through times much, much, much worse. So maybe we just cut all of those. And I do think they'll probably bring it in. I think the last cut is one of Flood Maw or Impulse. We could cut both, I guess, and bring in the Angers. And in that case, we need one more cut. Pyre? Bring in a ton of removal. This is like our worst removal spell. Sure. And I don't think I want the ley lines. I think we're supposed to just play through 6 Thoughtseizes. Okay. Hand's pretty good. We don't have a Lotus, but we have talent. I think this is one of those have faith in the deck hands. Yep. Feeling pretty good about cutting those dig 3 times. Of course, we have Flood Maw at any point if we want it. But I want to deploy the Artist Talent quickly because they will have a very hard time removing it. They could have like a Brazen Borrower or something. Not having second red for this anger sucks, as does drawing Otawara. I think we're just bouncing Satoru here in the interest of tempo. And I think we more or less have to discard this Otawara. And now we can play an Expedition map. And I don't know that I want to discard anything. Yeah, I don't think so. Just keep this around. All right, well, nothing super exciting here. I think we just need to crack the Expedition map, slam the Lotus, and say go. They took Flood Maw, which makes some sense. It was our answer to Leyline of the Void. Not that we need our graveyard to win. Playing the Ornithopter there is interesting. Into the face-up anger of the gods, too. So they probably have, like, a Spell Pierce. We are just sort of slowly dying as well. Let's start by cycling. Cycle one more time for more information about this sleight of hand. I think I'm going to get rid of this Anger of the Gods. I feel like this is telegraphing Spell Pierce so strongly that that going for more cheap instant speed removal makes a lot more sense. Okay, so now we're at 4 mana. We can level up artist talent, or we can play second artist talent plus fiery impulse plus consider. So I don't think we can. So I don't think we can die here, but I also think it's going to be pretty difficult to win through a counterspell next turn. Oh, yeah, I guess that is lethal. Gross. Yeah, that sucked. I want to go back and watch that game again. Like, where? Nice. Fucking asshole. Yeah, I want to go back and watch that game again. Let's see. Can I pull up the local recording easily? Let's see. Yeah, pretty easy mull. I feel like in the dark, kind of, on the draw, this is like an okay keep. It's not inspiring, but we know that we're up against a deck. We know that we're up against a deck that's running 4 Thoughtseize. While letting 5 against that sucks. We have Lotus Field. I think this is just, I think I was right. Just like one of those have faith in the deck moments. All right, Miscreant. Yeah. So we had the option, I guess, to bounce this with Floodmaw on their turn and deny them cards. I still think I like Sleight of Hand more. So they've played, did they mulligan? Like they played, this is 5 cards, so it's turn 2, and they have 3 cards left, so 8. Yeah, no, they didn't mulligan. Bouncing either one of these I still don't think is great. Because it guarantees them another card and it only saves a point of damage. It doesn't stop this. Yeah, pretty sure there's no point in cycling Vizier here either, because it's just better to do that once we have the Lotus Field in play. So I think all this is fine. maybe there's some way here to... So the decision I made here was don't untap Lotus Field with Vizier. And if there was a game one losing mistake, this might have been it. Because it leaves the door open for this. Like, if we're able to bounce this pre-combat, all of a sudden these don't really achieve much. Like, let's see. Yeah, like bouncing this prevents them from getting cards. We saw them surveil a land to the bin with 3 cards in hand, so maybe it was right to untap the Lotus Field with Vizier and just hold up interaction. And here, maybe it was right to not cycle this second Vizier. Just knowing that we're unlikely to die, just make sure we have more mana on the following turn. Because I think this game did come down to wishing I had 1 more mana the next turn. Yeah, we could have been more patient and just gone for it next turn. So we'll keep that in the back of our mind. We know that next turn we could have 1 more mana. And a pour over the pages. I mean, it did get us through a lot of the deck this turn. And there's no guarantee that we would have second Lotus Field in play next turn, right? I guess if we had 1 more Vizier here, we would have cycled both next turn. We would have found Lotus Field, Thespian Stage. 2 mana floating. We could have played the Thespian Stage copy and had 4 mana left. Yeah, maybe it didn't make a difference, but it could have. Could have also, yeah. I mean, at this point, like, we've gone so far down the rabbit hole that it's hard to remember what we would have drawn at this point. But I think we could have been, I think we would have had a pour, a Lotus Field, a Thespian Stage in hand. Yeah, we could have even, I guess, played the Thespian Stage first and poured with 2 Viziers back up. We just need 1 more mana than that. So we found Bond of Insight, Expedition Map. Yeah, mostly garbage. Yeah, you know what? I think casting Pour here was the mistake. I think playing Thespian Stage and saying go solves a lot of our problems. I think just being patient and having Otawara plus Floodmaw here to stay alive is a lot better than having to Cathartic Pyre Floodmaw here and not have the Pour anymore. Like, we're just asking a lot. we get to untap. And next turn we would have pour over the pages here. We could play Lotus Field and try to go off with that. And now all of a sudden the pours are mana positive. I don't know that it would have been good enough to win, but it would have left us in a much better spot, I think. Yeah, and we know what happened in the rest of the game. I guess Thoughtseize would have killed us anyway. Like, Thoughtseize is a good argument for playing poor sooner rather than later. So it's hard to say. It's fine. So in terms of sideboarding, what did we end up doing? I think this is what we did. Knowing that their list had 4 Leyline of the Void, I love taking out the Dig through times. Fiery Impulse seems good. Like, without being able to turn on Spell Mastery for it, it's worse. Because it doesn't kill the Satorus anymore. Galvanic Iteration's interesting because it is like a good tool to play around counterspells, but it's slow, and if you don't have a graveyard, it kind of stinks. I also think, yeah, like not bringing in the ley lines is a good idea. I think they have a total of 6 discard effects, and I don't think that's enough to warrant bringing in the ley lines. I think Anger was good. I don't think you can ever take these out. Maybe cutting a Flood Maw was wrong. Maybe instead of a Flood Maw, it's supposed to be... I don't even know. Like a Sleight of Hand? I don't know. I think this is pretty close to right, even if it's not actually right. Keeper Mulligan here. So, like, the main issue here is that there's no Lotus in the hand. And the question is, can we... How likely are we to draw a Lotus Field? We want to draw a Lotus Field by turn 3, so... Let's see, Hyper Geometric Calculator... So there's 53 cards in the deck. We're going to draw 2 cards. There are 4 Lotuses in the population. And honestly, Expedition Map kind of counts. It's slow. So we're only 25% to find a Lotus. And if we don't find a Lotus, the deck doesn't function. It's a little higher than that because a lot of our draw steps are redraws. Like, we could find Considers, Sleight of Hands, that kind of thing. Okay. Yeah, this is probably a mulligan. Maybe on the draw it's a keep. Actually, yeah, let's see. On the draw, is it a keep? If we increase to 3 draw steps. Still probably not. Taking into account that it's a Thoughtseize deck, maybe on the draw it's fine. Let's start with Leyline. Makes sense. I like holding our fire on bouncing the Leyline. Tapping out for Artist Talent, I guess, allows this play exactly. Like Satoru into Ornithopter, draw a card. Whereas not playing Artist Talent lets us Flood Maw the Satoru in response. But the problem is if they don't do something like this, like if they just play land and say go, we don't have a productive way to spend our mana. And also, getting the artist talent down is an important step to finding our next land drop. So I think playing the talent is right. We did find third land, but unfortunately it's double Otawara, which is really awkward. If we had a red source here, Anger of the Gods is extremely punishing for them. I think that would be great. We could... Yeah. There's no way to do like a Vizier trick to get second red mana. We won't have enough. So I think it's either do we Floodmaw Satoru or do we Fiery Impulse the Ornithopter to get to our next mana? Fiery Impulse the Ornithopter is just kind of whatever. Maybe we're supposed to recognize that this is like our only way of interacting with Leyline, but Leyline of the Void wasn't really what killed us. Yeah, I think I'm okay with... Floodmaw Satoru here and loot away the... or rummage away the Otawara. Find Expedition Map. I think we're supposed to discard something here. Yeah, I think I don't discard anything here, and I think that's a mistake. I think we're supposed to dig for another land. Probably, like, given what they showed us, Satoru is almost certainly going to be their next play. Fiery Impulse won't deal with that. Anger of the Gods will. I think we're supposed to loot away Fiery Impulse. And we don't. Yeah, that's I think, a crushing... That's a pretty significant mistake. Because, say we draw, like, untapped blue there, then we can interact with that Ornithopter, and that prevents Kaido from coming down. Not drawing land hurts. Am I supposed to gamble there? Like, we can... The problem is if we Floodmaw Kaido, then it gives them a fish that they can use to just ninjutsu Kaido back in. But maybe that's okay. Maybe I'm supposed to risk that to find another land. But the problem is if I whiff on another land, or if the land's a tap one, then we don't get to put the Lotus Field in this turn. So I think this is the conservative play, and I think I'm okay with that. Then Thoughtseize. Stings. Go to 13. I think this is the last turn we get, right? I think they kill us on the next turn, and I think I just don't respect the amount of damage that they can put out next turn. How do we feel about Anger here? Oh, this isn't the last turn we get. I think Anger here I disregard because of Spell Pierce, and also because it just doesn't really achieve much. I guess there's a line of Vizier, level up talent, cast Anger. Still okay. We can still resolve the sleight of hand, play land, level up talent, cast Anger. But we don't. We just keep digging. And I guess I'm evaluating that I need to find a second Lotus Field. We need to get underway. And then pitching the Anger. Yeah, I don't love how I played this. I feel like getting the second talent into play was not... Like, it was something I was doing to make sure that I could dig deeper next turn, but the problem is that these aren't great when you have few cards in hand. I also declined to loot away there. Maybe I was supposed to. Probably not, honestly. I think keeping these and not looting them away was fine. These dig deeper next turn. And then we're just dead. Yeah. Yeah, that was tough. I mean, I think also their draw was quite good, right? They had their Thoughtseize, they had their Satoru into Ornithopter play. I feel like we can't ignore that this was really strong. Like that their draw was really strong, but I think also there were a lot of micro opportunities to improve. Okay, well, whatever. Live and learn. Move on to the next round. I'll be back. Okay. We are back. Looks like there's, yeah, just 2 matches left. What can we do in the meantime? We have a few minutes. Could multi-table, I guess. I don't think I like that. I think this deck is like... I'm just learning this deck, and I think multi-tabling and taking my attention away from it is not really where I want to be. All right, well, how about this? Let's do... I guess let's do some chess puzzles while we wait. I'm not, like, amazing or anything at chess, but I do enjoy playing it. All right, so if we bring the queen over here, the king comes here. Check. King comes up here, and then what? We can bring the pawn here, check. King can either go here or here. If he comes here, then the queen steps up. If he comes here, then g4, and the king comes down here. Not seeing that. Only other check really is knight e8. the king moves to the back rank, that feels like it's asking for trouble, but maybe it's okay because you move the knight. He doesn't have any great jumps, and the knight can block on f8. So it feels like it does have to start here. I think we have to continue here. No. What is it? I considered knight g4, but then king g5, and then what? I don't know. It is knight g4. Yeah. Oh, okay. I was trying to find a checkmate. I didn't even notice the queen was hanging. Okay. I guess one more. All right, white to move. We are in a messy position. We have a bishop and 2 pawns for... Bishop and 3 pawns for... No, bishop and 2 pawns for a rook. Point is, if we take the rook, then the pawn promotes. If we take the rook and the pawn promotes, and then we fire in a check, if the king goes to the corner, then bishop d5 is checkmate. If the king comes to c8, then we don't have a check here because the queen will defend that. But then we get to promote. We get to promote with check. Feels like there's got to be something good there. If we start by advancing, then they just take with the rook, and there's nothing there. Let's try this. Nothing sneaky. Oh, and that's just it. Okay, sure. Okay, so we have 50 seconds till the next round. We'll just table the chess puzzles for now. Glad to see Mr. Polyev lost. Would that happens in 2025. Okay, on the play, we like that. Against S-Man 2.0. Let's see, what have they been playing? I don't see any decks for them on Goldfish, so we're firing blind, but we have talent, we have Lotus Field, we have strings. This is a keep. All right, opponent keep 7. We start with Canal Go. Okay. So we get Thoughtseized on 1, Blackleaf Cliff, so it's like Rakdos mid-range, Rakdos demons or something. I feel like Rakdos demons is not great news for us if that's what it is. I imagine they take the talent. Take strings. Interesting. Okay, I mean, I'll take the opportunity to deploy the talent. I don't want that getting discarded. And also, getting the talent in play gets us closer and closer to Dig Through Time. FOMO. Okay. Bond of Insight also excellent. We have some choices. We can play Spirebluff Canal and level up talent. And then that leaves us with Bond of Insight plus play Lotus Field next turn. I kind of like that, actually. Yeah, I'm in. I don't see them having a way to bounce the talent or remove it, so I think I like leveling that up. Normally, I want to get the Lotus Field down as quickly as possible, but I think having this level to 2 is a pretty important part of the combo. Unholy Annex. Annoying me even in Pioneer. This is not a demon, right? No, it's a nightmare. Totally different. So the problem with Bond of Insight now, I suppose, is that it lets them bring the Thoughtseize back. Yeah, it's not ideal. We can level up the talent again, but that doesn't really achieve anything. I don't want to get this poor Thoughtseized is the problem, and it's practically guaranteed if I cast this. But otherwise, what to do? Can't dig through time? Yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. I don't think we can realistically die here. Okay. Luckily, our hand's kind of juiced. I imagine it's poor. No, it's Bond. Okay. They have another? They don't have Delirium. Go to 14. They draw a card. And okay. We'll find Vizier. Yeah, let's cycle Vizier. See if we can find a way to get a second Lotus. We're going to try to win this turn. Not quite. It is another Lotus, but not exactly what we were looking for. What else can we do? How much does Dig Through Time cost? We need to exile 5 things, and then we have 2 mana. That leaves 3 mana in play. We could play an island if we need to go off with Pour from there. But if we Pour first... We can also just bail. Like, just learn our lesson from last time. Like, just Dig Through Time, play Island, and then play Lotus Field next turn and Pour. Sure. And I don't think I want to discard here. Find Expedition map. Talent. Wish seems good. Expedition map is just a free cantrip with Artist Talent, but unfortunately it also just doesn't achieve anything. I think I want... Man, is it Consider Talent? How important is it to have 2 talents? Don't think I want Wish. I think that's something we get after we combo off. Can we die next turn? I think it would be extremely hard. Let's just try to get some velocity through the deck, I guess. So Vizier and either Talent or Consider. Talent is an extra loot every spell we cast. Consider is just an extra card once. Tough call. I'll take Talent, I think. I think we're chilling. And I'll just level up this talent as well. And then, barring any hand disruption, we are in an excellent spot next turn. Invoke Despair, you say? Okay. Okay, I mean, that was another reason to take the talent, I guess. It protects our Artist Talent from removal. Not that I was expecting removal out of Rakdos. But yeah, here we go. Now we get to do things. Tor is going to cost 4. We have 5. Talent's going to cost 1. Let's start by cycling Vizier, I think. Great. Yeah, we can talent X equals 1, pitch this land, find dig through time, we like that. Cast Pour. And we'll decline both of these. Untap. Pitch, I guess. Thespian Stage. We can dig through time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blue, blue. I think it's... I guess it's map. I'll pitch Pyre as well. Sleight of hand, sure. Dig through time, finding Pour. Obviously we want. And I guess Vizier. There's probably no wrong way to eat this Oreo at this point. Just make sure we don't somehow fizzle. Sleight of hand goes deeper than Vizier. I guess we're probably going to discard anyway. Alright, that's an upgrade. Lear, obviously pretty good here. Let's cycle Vizier. Want to get to 9 mana if possible. We only have 8. There we go. We'll keep that one. Strings. Pitch Stage, sure. Pitch Canal, sure. And then we can Lear. And Pour. Yeah, and now we're just like all the way there. $20 cards in library. And like literal everything can go now that we have Lear. We know Wish is like at the bottom. From that earlier impulse. $10 cards. $5 cards. There's Wish. Go ahead and cast Wish. Okay, and I think, yeah, they're tapped out, so Thassa's Oracle just wins. Devotion is 4. Great. That's nice. Okay. So, Rakdos demon-y stuff. Let's see if we can find the list that my opponent's playing. Okay, Rakdos midrange. So a few Shieldrids, 3 main deck Duress, 4 Thoughtseize, another Duress in the board, and a Go Blank, and Invoke Despair. So that, I think, is compelling enough to want Leyline of Sanctity. They don't have... They have 2 unlicensed Hearse as well, which maybe makes Bond of Insight less interesting, particularly because it regrows their Thoughtseizes. Cathartic Pyre doesn't kill Shieldred. It's a little small ball. I feel like Impulse can go. Don't love Anger. Don't love Narset's Reversal. Don't love Galvanic Iteration. Niv is like a fine mid-range card, but they kill it fairly easily. They'll probably take out most of their removal, though. I don't see any Damping Spheres in the sideboard, so like maybe Flood Maw's not great, but not as good as it normally is. But we need an answer to Shieldred. I feel like we just can't take these out in most matchups. Digs get worse with the unlicensed Hearses, so maybe trim or remove them completely. I don't think I love Filter Out. I don't think that achieves anything. I don't love Fiery Impulse. Don't love Anger. I guess, like, just for want of better things, maybe I'm just supposed to bring in Niv just because I want to take these things out and there's not enough else to bring in. Maybe Filter Out is okay. No. What am I saying? The other option, I think, is like... Oh, shit. Shit. I didn't even realize that I was out of time. Okay. Well, we'll sideboard properly next time. I gotta pay attention. Too much time talking out the thought process for stream. We are absolutely going to get, like, Thoughtseize, Go Blanked, and not have the ley lines in to deal with it. Yeah, as hands go. Keep that one. Yep. Pour is probably the take, yeah. I don't think I'm interested in shocking in Consider. Or shocking in 4 Consider. Find Vizier. Or, yeah. Blood Tithe Harvester over there. have on 3? They have a glut of stuff on 3. They have 4 Fables and 4 Unholy Annex, assuming this is the list they're playing. They have 3 Hidetsugu consumes all as well, so I guess I need to be a little careful with my expedition maps. I think I want to hold this for something a little more threatening. Like Shieldred or something. Wow, they're cracking the blood? We like that. Yeah, just untap. What does that tell us about their hand? They need land really badly, so they have 4 spells. I want to be able to interact with that. I think I'm going to cycle this Vizier before sacking the lands. Because I feel like there's probably a Shieldred. Okay. Finding Thespian Stage makes me not want to use the second Vizier. Because if we find hidden strings, then there's a good chance that we can just go off next turn. Go blank. Okay. I think that just resolves. We'll pitch this Lotus Field. I want Leer, I want Floodmaw, I want Stage. And the question then, I guess, is do I want Vizier or do I want Consider? I think I want Consider more because it works better with Leer. Yeah, I think we just chill. Double Mutavault makes Invoke Despair impossible next turn as well. Alright, and we'll hold up Floodmaw plus copy. Like if they play Shieldred next turn, we'll just bounce it and copy. Okay. This is 7 damage. All right. Start with Consider. No, thank you. Okay, well, we do need to, you know, find something. What can I wish for? Anything good? Not really. Just in the pour over the pages artist talent waiting room. I guess I can play Riverglide Pathway, play Leer, and hope they're out of removal. I can flashback Consider and still have Floodmaw up to stay alive. I think I bin that. Alright, Vizier is a nice one to have access to. Invoke to spare time. Invoke to spare time. Okay. So this is lethal if I couldn't bounce the Harvester. We're still in trouble. All right, Impulse. Let's see if we can make some magic. All right, here we go. We have 8 mana. We can wish down to 5. Yeah, I was trying to find some way to Narset's Reversal to Pour, but this is perfectly fine. Find strings. We're at 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13, 17 mana. We have a lot we can do now. All right. Thank you for the follow, Ocelot. Let's bring out Daddy Niv, who wouldn't have been in the sideboard if I had not screwed up. Yeah, let's start with Impulse. Go upstairs. Pour, yes please. That seems really good. Strings. Upstairs. Talent? Sure. I'll pitch Odawara. Untap with strings. We have 2. Yeah, that's fine. Let's play second talent. Pitch Spikefield Hazard, sure. Yeah, we'll pitch Riverglide Pathway. I think I'll keep Dig Through Times. All right. Sure, consider. Well, this is fun. I almost don't want this to end. Okay, that was cool. That's a lot more fun than winning with Thassa's Oracle. guess let's see if we can make this a thing. Let's try to go back over the game now that there's time in between rounds. Okay, so no information on the opponent for this one. Clear keep still. No regrets here. Get thought seized. So far, pretty normal Pioneer. Standard stuff. Well, Pioneer stuff, but you know what I mean. Oh, it tanks a long time on this Thoughtseize, and I think they settled on Poor. No, they settled on Strings, which I thought was weird. I thought Artist Talent was pretty convincingly the take. So we take advantage of that. We slam Talent. Here's FOMO. Nothing we can do about this. This was the first interesting spot in the game. We could have either played Lotus Field here or played Spire Bluff Canal leveled up. They're both like mana acceleration plays in their own way. Like playing Lotus Field now means we untap next turn with 4 mana, but not a leveled up Artist Talent. And playing Spire Bluff Canal here and leveling up means next turn we have 3 mana, but our spells cost 1 less. So it's kind of neutral, I guess. But I guess the difference between the neutrality is that beyond the next turn, Artist Talent, the level up the Artist Talent play pays for itself after we cast. Like our second non-creature spell makes this mana positive for leveling up Talent versus playing the Lotus Field. The punish would be if we draw Hidden Strings, because then that's mana, that's +1 mana instead of... No, even if we draw Strings, right, we can just play Lotus Field that turn. Yeah, I like the play here. I like Canal level up. If we had like Impulse or Consider or anything else useful to do with our mana, I think I like playing the Lotus Field. But taking the turn off to just develop a Lotus Field doesn't seem great. Maybe on the draw, that's a worse play because they're one step closer to Invoke Despair. And with Invoke Despair, we don't want our Artist Talent to be leveled up. Like, we don't want to invest mana in something that's just going to go away. Opponent plays Unholy Annex, which is like the exact slow, grindy card that we want to see them play. And here we have options. We can pour over the pages if we play the island, or we can Bond of Insight, or we can play Lotus Field, say go. If we don't have enough mana to dig through time here, right? Like tap 2, play Lotus Field. We have 3 mana and 3 cards in the bin. Yeah, that's not enough. Still a couple mana short, or just 1 mana short of the dig through time, but yeah, I think I like the line in the game, which was just level up Talent, play Lotus Field. Leveling up the Talent is like practically insignificant. It does mean that if we fetch Niv like we did in game 2, that it'll kill faster, but really it's just for want of having anything to do. Yeah, we definitely took our time on this decision. Duress. And our hand is kind of stacked against Duress. I think they took Bond of Insight, which I also feel was probably not the right call. I could see a good argument for either Dig Through Time or Pour, but Bond doesn't seem... It feels like Bond is in the deck as like a safety valve in case your win conditions end up in the graveyard and you need a way to recur them. Find Vizier. Cycling that seems okay. Trying to dig for a way to get a second Lotus Field before playing Pour. And here I think we did a good job applying our learning from last game and not pulling the trigger too soon. Like playing Island and knowing that we'll have 2 Lotus Fields to be mana positive with Pour next turn. Even in the worst case, what happens next turn if they invoke to spare us? We lose the Artist Talent, take 4, take 2, and we're still fine. We'll still have 2 Lotus Fields, a Dig Through Time, and a Pour. Okay, so we dug here. This is like an okay hedge against another Thoughtseize, but I don't like it as much because if they had Thoughtseize, they would have played it. They have the 1 mana open. Yeah, I guess I got like an itchy trigger finger or something. And then we have this decision of which cards to take. I feel like it's definitely not Map, it's definitely not Flood Maw, it's definitely not Wish, and it's any 2 of Talent, Consider, Vizier. And they're all basically the same, which is what makes it hard, right? Like they each go 1 card deeper. Vizier is mana positive. So I feel like Vizier is a pretty comfortable keep, even though it doesn't go as deep. And Talent goes deeper than Consider as long as we cast 2 spells. And if we're not casting 2 spells, then what's the point? So I think I like this. I think I like Vizier plus Talent. Play Island, and... yeah, no downside really to playing Talent here and leveling it up. And also, as we saw, second Talent protects against Invoke Despair, which must have come in the last 2 draw steps because they would have played it last turn, certainly if they could have. And now we just kind of are off to the races, and I don't know that there's much really to think about from this point on, because... yeah, Cycling Vizier is fine, because it gives us more information about what we're going to be discarding to the Artist Talent. Now, of course, we don't want to discard any of these. Yeah, and from here, I think, you know, I think it's pretty straightforward. It just takes time to execute. So sideboarding, obviously we didn't end up sideboarding, but ley lines I think are justified given what we know about their sideboard. Maybe Niv is just never supposed to come in for reasons like we saw in the game. Just wishing for Niv is better than drawing Niv. Because it's kind of hard to establish 2 Lotus Fields in a low resource game, and we know that if they're going to be packing Duresses and Go Blanks, we're likely to be in a low resource game, so maybe Niv isn't supposed to come in. I don't think any of these are worth bringing in. So maybe Niv is supposed to stay on the board. It's just supposed to be the 3 ley lines that come in, and I took out Bond of Insight because I saw multiple unlicensed Urses in the sideboard. This is the only thing I'm not super sure about because I feel like it's relatively likely that our wishes get milled. And we need a way to try to recur them. But I feel like if the wish gets milled, it's probably going to be exiled by an effect like Go Blank anyway. And maybe that's a reason to bring in Niv, because I don't know that we can realistically win the game without Wish if we don't have another win condition in. Bond is probably better than Dig Through Time. Well, both of them need a graveyard. So assume you have a graveyard. Which card would you rather have? Would you rather have Bond of Insight or would you rather have Dig? Dig goes 7 deep. Bond is card neutral with the opponent, but has the benefit of you know exactly what you're going to get and helps rescue your win conditions. I think I like Dig more, honestly. No, you know what? I think given that Wish is likely to just get exiled, I think I am in on bringing in Niv. I think that was fine. I think we might have 2 minutes before the next round. Sure. I'm going to run and use the washroom. I think that's more useful. I'll be right back. Okay. Let's pull up the deck search page. Up against Jev. Also, no history on Goldfish for this player. On the draw. Tough hand. Like, there's a lot wrong with this hand. It's the slowest way possible to find a Lotus Field. We have tap land and shock land, so pretty bad against aggro. And what's more, we don't have a way to deal with an early 1-drop or 2-drop. We have Wish in our opening hand, which isn't great. I think this is supposed to be a mull. How about the same hand, but worse? It's not the same hand, but it is worse. Is it keepable? Like, say we Valakut on 1, Thespian Stage on 2, map. 7, I mulligan this. 6, I think I'm inclined to keep. Yeah, I'll keep this. I don't love it, though. I think I need Dig Through Time. Vizier seems good. Valakut's land. So it's, do I pitch a second expedition map or strings? There's like a reasonable chance I'm going to have to sack this Thespian Stage, and I'll want both expedition maps, but it's so slow. Like, can you imagine a game where I have to crack 2 expedition maps to establish my mana and I still win? I think that's the putback. Just don't Thoughtseize, man. Thoughtseize would be nasty. If we don't get Thoughtseized, we have an interesting choice about what to do next turn. Like, suppose we draw non-land. Spirebluff Canal, go. Okay. Yeah, we do draw non-land here. So if we play Thespian Stage map and we draw untapped land next turn, then that lets us immediately find Lotus. We know that Valakut will not be Thoughtseized anymore. Map could get Spell Pierced here. And if I saw my opponent play Thespian Stage map, I would read that they needed the land. Next turn, they probably, if they're Phoenix, want to play Ledger Shredder. But they could hold up Picklock. I think they're very likely to play a 2-drop, but I think this is the highest upside play. Great, it resolves. And hopefully we draw an untapped land, because if this gets like Prismari commanded or something, then we're very sad. Oh, it's the mirror. Okay. So we just have to go as fast as we can, and we're not, unfortunately, very equipped to do that. So if I bring up the deck list, I assume they're playing exactly the 75. Yeah, there's really no interaction here. It's just go off as quick as you can. And unfortunately, we lost the die roll here, and worse, we don't have a land to play here. Sacking the Thespian Stage seems not ideal. We can crack the expedition map and just fetch a blue source. And then next turn, play map, crack it, play Lotus Field, keep the stage. We even have Vizier plus Hidden Strings in that case. I like that. Yeah, we'll take River Glide Pathway, play it on blue, and then just play the map. Yeah, unfortunately, this could just be one of those play-draw situations. They're tapping the mana ahead of time. We could just be dead. Like, if they just have the God Hand, then we could be dead. Spikefield Hazard on the fish is probably not the way they win the game. So I think we're going to untap. Probably the best draw on the deck is Lotus Field right now. Talent. Okay, well, I guess we're going to start with Sleight of Hand. We find Floodmaw. Floodmaw might be important as a means to bounce an artist talent, keep them from going off. It's better than a Spikefield Hazard anyway. Fortunately, there's just no way to hold up that interaction and progress towards a turn 5 win on our turn. And we are in an excellent spot to try next turn, but I don't know that we're going to untap. So next turn, we can Cycle Vizier, copy Lotus Field, and Hidden Strings. And that's 3 draw steps towards something like Pour Over the Pages. Land Pour is a sign of weakness. Okay, this is extremely likely to fizzle. These Pours are mana negative plays. But level up Lotus Field plus Hidden Strings and they're there. Okay, I think they should have done that in the other order. Yeah, I think this is still level 1, although it's very hard to tell. I mean, it probably makes sense for my opponent to go for this here. Like, even if they don't think it's likely to succeed, because we are very, very likely to go off on our turn. Okay, now we're probably in trouble. Oh, never mind. Now we're probably in great shape. Yeah, we untap and they're tapped out. We do need to find something like Pour. Lear's going to make it much more likely we succeed as well. Let's start by cycling Vizier. We find Consider. Okay. Okay, so now what? We get a lot of looks at a hidden strings with artist talent. Just need one more mana. I think I want to start with Dig. And we find Pour and Vizier. We have 4 mana left. We can also... We haven't made a land drop this turn. We can Steam Vents Pour. That seems worse. Now let's just take Vizier. We could also Vizier. How does that work? We have 4. That gets us back up to 6. It doesn't do anything. All right. And now we're like in the exact same boat as we were before. Now we have an extra land. Oh, we have an extra land. Yeah, that does it. So that gets us to 7. Okay. Now we have an awful lot of stuff we can do. Let's start with Pour, right? Yeah, leveling up artist talent is still a very expensive thing to do. All right, now we have 7 mana, 11 mana. So now we can talent level up. Pitch Floodmaw. Yeah, and now we're there. I think like non-deterministically, but absolutely in the driver's seat. Pitch, I guess, sleight of hand. Pitch Floodmaw. Keep that on top. This is 2/5 mana. Yeah. Cool. Probably should have leveled up the second artist talent at some point. There's Wish. 21 cards in library. Sure. Nine cards in library. And we're almost there. Just trying to find the fastest way to do this with the Magic Online client. My biggest enemy is the clock right now. Yeah. Okay. That was that last consider. That's what made the game unwinnable for them. Okay. Well, very little in the way of interaction. We have Reversal, we have Dispute, we have Niv. Could bring in Filter out as like a way to interact with the artist talents. I guess Galvanic Iteration is also probably pretty good. Because we know they're not going to interact with us. So, what's kind of weak? Don't think I'm super into Bond. I think Cathartic Pyre can go. That's probably one of the worst cards. Maybe something like this. Because I want some number of Floodmaws, I guess, to be able to interact with them, but I don't want to draw them until it's time to be able to interact. Okay, how about this? How about just cut 2 Floodmaws on the draw, and then next game... I don't even know. I don't think there's a whole lot of... I don't think there's a whole lot we can do here. This is probably still just going to be whoever can go off first should. Okay. Yeah, this one we're not going to keep. Great. This hand's fine. Yeah. Life total doesn't matter. So keeping Steam Vents is a relatively low opportunity cost decision to make sure we have our mana. Look what they need to do to mimic a fraction of my having Lotus in my opening hand power. Dig through time holding priority is irritating, I've got to say. Ooh, Thespian Stage. Okay. We'll keep Otawara. No reason not to, really. Oh, they did just draw Lotus Field naturally. All right. So now are they cracking this to find Thespians? Or are they just leveling up talent? Or none of the above? No, they're leveling up talent. Okay. Okay. All right. I think the play is going to be Impulse here. I don't think I want to discard any of these. Ooh. And the reason is that I want to next turn be able to just play Thespian Stage and say go, and Otawara the talent if it looks like I'm in danger of going off. So here's a copy. I assume they probably have hidden strings in reserve. Yeah, all right, we could just be dead. Had the option there of taking into the Floodmaw and bouncing the talent. But then I wouldn't be able to play the Thespian Stage. I would have had to play the Otawara. Yeah, we're probably in the non-deterministically dead spot. But in the mirror, facing a turn 4 kill on the play, that's pretty tough to deal with. I guess the other problem is that, like, we aren't even prepared to go off on our own turn 4. Wow, they're discarding hidden strings. That's pretty bad news for us. Yeah, Lear, I don't think you can screw this up from here. So you got it. Okay, so now we're on the play. My monitor's dying. That's not good. So what to take out? Like, we have this one extra flood maw that I think is less important on the play than it is on the draw. And the only... Like, these are the candidates, right? We can either have Bond of Insight or Cathartic Pyre. I don't think anything else makes much sense. I think I'll keep Bond of Insight. Like, this is a more proactive, we're going to go off on our turn card. Sure. Hand's fine. Ooh. Right out of the gate, tough call. If I map next turn... So map gets me pretty reliably to my double lotus setup. How does that work? Like, next turn I play map. And then I crack it and then fetch Thespians, play Lotus Field. Yeah, and then we have Pour for that. I think it's map. I'll shock this in, just give him something to think about. Strings is a good pickup. Okay. So they're going to, I guess, Cycle Vizier here. No, they're not. Okay. Like, weird sequencing choice, right? Why play the Lotus Field before casting the Consider? And they bin Wish. Alright, so Thespian Stage, Lotus Field, Hidden Strings, untap. We have 6 mana. Stage Copy, we have 3 mana left. Strings again, and then just go. Yeah. Hold to keep priority. So we have 8 mana here. Yeah. Okay. So 7 mana. So we can talent. And then pour. Pitch, I suppose. Impulse. Then we need another way to untap, but luckily Bond is here. So this is the guaranteed way. We'll return strings. I guess pour. Now we can level up. Right, we level up, and then strings. And we have 8 mana left, and a 4 mana pour, yeah. No discard, I guess. I don't think I want to discard either of these dig through times. All right, now we're at 10 mana. So we can Niv and have 4 mana backup, which is a lot. But let's start by cycling Vizier. Sleight of hand. All right. Let's do it. Okay, so we can resolve that. Pitch Lotus Field. Oh. Okay. Well, Valakut Awakening plus Vizier sound pretty good to me. Need to find more untaps. Need to find more untaps. There's 20 cards left in library. These are free. Is it possible to fizzle here? It might be possible to fizzle here. I guess dispute consider? Because we don't have a land drop anymore either. Crap. Finally. Man, it made me sweat it. And we're there. They might maybe play it out for clock reasons, but we're there. Yeah. We gave them the respect scoop when they played Lear, and they'll do the same for us. Cool. Let's see, how much time left? Oh, we were the last match. All right, so no time to go over that last one. But 2-1, nice place to be. How's Ginkgo doing? Just out of curiosity. All right, I mean, we're middle of the pack. Like, that's what we would expect with a 2-1. Mason's doing well. Yeah. Opponent match win percentage. The guys we've beaten have not done well for our breakers. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just not getting any of your chat messages. Huh. I just refreshed, and I see all your messages now. Doesn't double Valka kill when they were at 14? Probably. Yeah, sorry. I haven't meant to ignore you guys. Okay, so can't keep this one lander. This one's better. Let's see what our opponents run in the past, if anything. Oh dear. Spirits, basically. Blue-white spirits. So we have 4 No More Lies and a Spell Pierce. And 4 Spell Queller. Okay. This doesn't feel great. Hey, Nadabawa. Welcome to the channel. Is it Lotus treating me? It's not bad. I think it is probably better than the normal, like, traditional Simic-based Lotus Field decks. At least in this meta. I think having access to red for removal is important. And also the addition of Expedition Map means that you can give up green a lot more freely now than you used to be able to. Could be our opponent isn't even here. The round did end early, so they might have, gotten up to do whatever. Yeah, the double Valakut killing play. I don't know. When I play these decks, I kind of just get into a rhythm. And it's kind of like when I'm playing chess and there's a move at the end of the game where I know I'm winning and I know it's not the best move. Like the computer would not like the move, but it's guaranteed to win. I don't have to think too hard about it. And it just removes all forms of resistance from the opponent. I know when I get to that spot that I have enough material to just win. But maybe in that spot in particular, I didn't have the hidden strings I needed. Like, we did almost fizzle. It was very close. Resistance is futile. I need that, I need that, like a Jim Davis style soundboard. Just have a, I am Locutus of Borg. You are Borg.
Here's to the finest crew in Starfleet. Engage. Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise. Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise.
Make it so. Make it so.
I really hope you guys can hear that, or it looks completely ridiculous.
Make it so.
As opposed to only a little ridiculous. All right, they're here. Yeah, we can keep this. We're not in love with it, but we can keep it. What's the putback? We have no information. Oh no, we right. It was so long ago I forgot. We know we're up against spirits. I feel like I want sleight of hand to just dig for removal because I feel like we're gonna need it. Strings lets us play around some of their soft counter spells. Pour is important. I guess that makes dig through time the odd man out. Okay, Adakar wastes. Yeah, I mean, full speed ahead. I guess we can crack this on their end step. Vizier's a nice pickup. Take another one. I feel like game one is going to be very, very difficult to win. I think I like the line here of Vizier, Vizier. Actually, I think I like the line of Vizier, Artist Talent. And then we have 3 mana left, so that pays for No More Lies. And once this touches the board, we can level it up. This deck, the deck the opponent is running, does look very, very, very hard for us to beat. Like 2 main deck Brazen Borrowers as well to bounce the talent. I imagine they're thinking about No More Lies here. There's not much else to think about. And if they don't, I mean, if they do, we have Vizier Strings. Okay. It feels real bad if we level this Artist Talent up and they have Brazen Borrower. But I still think I'm in. Ah. Okay, that's bad. Yeah, that's also really hard to deal with. Were there alternative lines? Could we have cycled Vizier first? Maybe. They did need to have exactly Skyclave Apparition there. Okay, and they've essentially left up, once again, No More Lies. Which we were pretty sure they were considering last turn. So maybe we can bait it. See if we can coax them into No More Liesing here. Okay. Let's get a little more mana then. Dig through time. We are dead to flash in creature, animate both Mutavaults next turn, so we do have to go. Three, 6, 7 mana, which is not quite enough to pour through a No More Lies. If I talent first, go down to 5 mana, dig through time. There's 3 mana left, which we can pay for a No More Lies, but then we're stuck. Anything else we cast. So I think we just start with dig through time. We can Vizier plus Cathartic Pyre. Or we can Vizier plus Thespian Stage. Thespian Stage gets us to our double Lotus Field setup, which we might need in order to get through this. We could also just take Thespian Stage Cathartic Pyre. Cathartic the Skyclave Apparition. I guess that fails to Rattle Chains. If we take Thespian Stage, we go up to 1, 4, 5, 6 mana. Pyre, we're 1 mana short. I guess we can Cathartic Pyre in the upkeep. I mean, we're also dead to like a Supreme Phantom. So many things we're dead to. Otawara Cathartic Pyre is also not good enough. We only have 5 mana. Damn. I'm going to take Thespian Stage Vizier. I am not at all sure that that's right. All right. Now we have this available to us. We can copy, and we have Otawara to bounce something. Did have the Rattle Chains. And now, if I bounce the Skyclave Apparition, I have a blocker on the ground for the Mutavault. Okay, so they say go. We're at 6. We're basically dead next turn if we don't win here. We have 7 mana. They only have 1 blue. If I play Artist Talent and I can coax them into Skyclave Apparitioning it, we can get Pour over the pages to go off. 7 mana. I have 6 cards in hand. I think we need to dig for like a Hidden Strings or a Vizier. Let's try digging. They got to be tempted to counter this, because if I pay... Okay. So now if I take strings plus pathway, strings will resolve. And I'll go to 8 mana, which pours through a No More Lies. Or 9 mana, rather. Tough game. Very lucky that they only found the one blue source. Like, there's no way they don't have multiple counters in their hand, but they can only cast one. We know one of these cards is Skyclave Apparition, so we have to be careful with when we deploy this talent. Ha. I could encode, but it doesn't do anything. So now we have 2, 5, 8, 9 mana. So we can even sleight of hand first and see if we can find more mana. Not really. Spell Queller would make sense. We haven't played anything Spell Quellerable, really. Okay. All right, 3, 7. Yeah, 7 mana, 3 down to 4, and that would let Hidden Strings be cast for 1, which still plays through Spell Pierce. Yeah. Okay, sure. So now they're tapped out. Now we can play a lot more aggressively. We do need to find, like, some action. Can't quite do it. Damn. I thought I played that game really, really well. Okay. So I guess we bring in Dispute and Niv and these. I'll take out Bond. What do they have access to? Then they have 2 Rest in Pieces and 2 Damping Spheres. Okay. I guess that makes me interested in filter out as well. Ish. What's the cut? We can cut Impulse. Cathartic Pyre seems good. I think we can cut the digs. Really nothing else. All right, I think I'm gonna run like. Kind of want all of these. What's bad? I guess Cathartic Pyre is probably a little too expensive. Pretty sure I want both Angers. I don't think it can be that. I guess Artist Talent is a little worse, knowing that they have Skyclaves. Try this. Not at all sure. I think this deck is very hard to sideboard with. Yeah, that works. I'll start with Hazard tapped, though. Okay, Mausoleum Wanderers, a good one. They're much more likely to try to do something on my turn. So holding up Dispute on their turn doesn't seem outstanding. I guess, yeah. I was going to say, I guess I'm going to play Lotus Field, so I'm going to tap out next turn anyway, which sucks. Maybe I can force the fight with a Fiery Impulse first. Like they flash into Rattle Chains or something, and I can counter that. I think I take Strings. All right, let's make that the plan. We'll try to Fiery Impulse the Wanderer on my turn. And counter back with Dispute when they go to protect it. That was foreseeable. It should have been foreseen. I know what that card does. Just did not do the math properly. Just didn't consider it. I guess maybe I should have slighted before I played the Spirebluff Canal. It's tough to say. I'll wait till next turn. We can try to jam Anger of the Gods. Yikes. Okay. I guess I should be conscious of possibility of drawing Niv Mizzet. Because we will be going up to 6 mana this turn. Four, 5, 6, 8 mana. I'm just 1 mana short. Like if I Fiery Impulse the Mausoleum Wanderer. If I Fiery Impulse the Supreme Phantom, Mausoleum Wanderer taxes for 2, but I can't pay for that. So I guess this is the best we can do. Oh, I don't even have the red. Yeah, that's not going to work. Damn it. We're taking 3, 4, 7, 10 next turn. Alright, well, if by some miracle we survive, we'll at least have 2 lotuses in play. But we're dead to a spirit. Wow, we lived. That's kind of unbelievable, actually. So it means their hand's all counter spells. Is this in essence the Pioneer version of Twiddle? Yes. It is essentially that. If their hand's all counters, like if they just have a No More Lies, then yeah. Ah, crap. I had a line. I could have, with that trigger on the stack, I could have copied Mutavault and then untapped it and had a blocker. Oh, but this still works. I just don't give the gift. I think I just pass. Okay. Well, probably weren't beating that. God, that's frustrating. Ugh. Okay. 2 and 2, probably not good enough to top 8, but we'll try one more round. Oh, and I didn't record that on OBS. I was in too much of a hurry. Okay. I'll be right back. I'm going to use the washroom, and then we can do something in the meantime. Yeah, Mason is Mason would definitely be at some energy events. That wouldn't surprise me if you saw him there. Damn, that was frustrating. Felt like they had just enough material. If we float 3 off of stage with hidden strings, we can crack map, fetch Otawara, and then have 6 mana to bounce things. But the problem is that my read was that their hand was some number of counterspells because they didn't play a creature when we were tapped out, and any spirit would have pumped the Mausoleum Wanderer and been lethal. So Brazen Borrower is probably the only creature they could have had in hand that that doesn't pump Mausoleum Wanderer and still flashes in on our end step. So I was worried about cracking map, fetching Otawara, and Otawara bounces. Otawara would have bounced it too. Yeah, that's fine. That would have worked. I was worried about Into the Floodmaw getting no more Moralized, and I wanted the mana to be able to pay for that. But I think you're right. I think fetching Otawara is better. Yeah, it buys us a turn, and then maybe we, like, I don't even know what we can draw, right? We can draw Pour. Niv probably isn't good enough. We could pour into Niv. Yeah. Okay. Well, oh, okay. Well, 2 minutes till the next round. Sure. And back up against the wall here. I feel like maybe 1, 4, and 2 makes the top 8, so we're still probably live, but our breakers aren't very good. But we'll try anyway. Actually, we might already be out. Here, Schultz, you do the math. I don't have time. Am I live or not? Feel free to take a screenshot if you need to. Yes, asterisk. Love it. Okay. So yes, asterisk, and you go to the footnote and it says no. It looks like 55 players, yeah. All right. Well, while you figure that out, I'm going to pull up Goldfish and see what our opponent is likely to be on. Pretty sure this hand's a mole, but I guess I'll see first. In Pioneer, they've only played one. They played 4-color mid-range, which is just like a Boros creativity deck. Creativity into Agent of Treachery. We don't care about that. Our stuff is X-proof. This hand's outstanding. Keep this and put back Cathartic Buyer. Assuming that this is the list they're on. Like, they played it when? September 8th, so it's been forever. Blood Crypt, great. Okay. Dodged a bullet, though. No Thoughtseize on one. So we... to put this on red or blue? Probably red. Blood Crypt, go. Blackleaf Cliffs, go. I think I play Talent here. And the point is, if we draw an untapped land, we don't need to crack this expedition map at all. And getting this out now protects us from the Thoughtseizes that are surely in their deck. All right, very tame start from the opponent. We find poor. Yeah, just chill. Expedition map, and what are we fetching? Is there any reason to get a stage? I don't think so. I think I just want a blue source. And I think it should be a canal, because I don't want to draw that later. Next turn we play Lotus and copy, and our hand is just absolutely stacked. I guess creativity here into an Agent of Treachery. It doesn't make any sense, of course, but... Nerd Girl, hello. How is your vacation going? Or your birthday trip? Okay, so they took strings. And we drew strings. Nice. There's much sport and much ball. Well, you've come to the right place for ball. So we play Lotus Field and copy, and that's fine. We can also play Lotus, cycle Vizier. That gets us to 4 mana. Strings gets us to 6. We can also, what can we do? We can Lotus Field, untap with Vizier, level up talent. No, it doesn't quite work. We don't have enough blue to then strings untap both. I don't think there's better than just Lotus Field copy here. Excited to go home. I feel you. All right, I mean, go nuts, opponent. Our hand is absolutely bonkers. Okay, less so now. Okay, so gotta win this turn. That's gonna help. Let's start. I guess I'll start by cycling. Sleight of hand. Okay. So 7 mana, then 3 to level up Artist Talent, and then we can pour for 4. Okay. Am I pitching the sleight of hand? I think I'm not. All right, well, Valakut's pretty good. I only need 1, though. All right, now... It's tough. Let's start with sleight of hand and decline to discard, I think. Dig through time's exactly what we're looking for. All right. Like, we need a critical mass of spells. Hey, Nerd Girl, you missed that? I assume you can hear Hammy getting into a paw fight with something. I'll decline to discard. We have a Dig Through Time and a Vizier. I feel like Impulse is probably a little better. Although Expedition Map is just a free cycle, but I think I like Impulse. I think I'm ready to pitch Cathartic Pyre now. There's Wish. Yeah, I'll just take more strings, I guess. I guess I just want to keep going through the deck. Like, I guess it's time to let Valakut go. All right. Now we can Dig Through Time. I guess it's just safe to pitch Consider. Certainly safe to pitch Floodmaw when the time comes. Talent Consider? Talent Map? It doesn't really matter. Yeah, take strings, I guess. Don't think I want to discard any of these things, although I guess I could. I know that the bond is coming. Yeah, I guess I like it. What if Storm was a thing in Pioneer? Oh, hey, target player. How's it going? There's Bond of Insight. We like that. We also drew Leer. And Pour. Yeah, that'll do it. So we have 6 mana. We can just Leer and strings from the bin, honestly. But well, we shouldn't, because then we expose ourselves to removal in a way that we don't need to. I don't even realistically think we need Leer. We probably do. Now we can Bond. Pitch Canal. Pitch Floodmaw. Resolve. regrow Wish. And I guess Pour. Hopefully no Cling to Dust. Great. Let's go upstairs. And we can talent. And now we can wish. Pitch this. Pitch this. Pitch this. Decline. And now we can play Oracle. And we did need to get down to literal 0 cards because they could have Fatal Push or something, and I don't want to die to that. Sure. Great. How's the challenge going? We are 2-2 in round 5, and we just won game 1. It hasn't gone super great. I think I lost to Mir in round 1, and I think that was a preventable loss. Not super used to the deck at that point. And then we lost a pretty heartbreaking game to Blue-White Spirits, which I think we played great in, honestly, and it just wasn't good enough. All right, so here's Ley Lines of Sanctity. I assume the Rakdos player is playing a bunch. Anything else? I assume there's like a bunch of go blanks, so I don't want to do the things that lean heavily on the graveyard. It might just be this. Like, take out 3 digs, bring in 3 ley lines, call it a day. Pyre's pretty mopey too, but it does hit like Blood Tithe Harvesters and Fable tokens and stuff like that. How about this? Just like remove all of our dependency on the graveyard and Bond of Insight's in there so that we can regrow Wish if something bad happens to it, but we don't need to do that anymore if we have Niv in the deck. We can just win the game that way. Is that insane? Maybe, but we're going to try it. I'm going to keep this. Do we put both in? I kind of think we don't. We have a bunch of looting effects. I think it's just one. Got Schultz on my side for that decision. I'll feel really dumb if they have, like, Feed the Swarm or something, but we love that. I think I do want to consider on end step. Like, priority number 1 is find Lotus Field. Yeah, that's not Lotus Field, so it's got to go. I think I'm just shocking in and impulsing. Pitching the Thoughtseize. Love it. That's a Lotus. It's a slow Lotus. I'm still taking it, though. Now it's not a slow Lotus anymore. Great. I don't think there's anything they can do that stops me from searching my library, but I'm going to do it now just in case. It also saves my clock a little. Yeah, Shieldred's fine. So I think I like... Well, can we just try to win here? Lotus, and then strings up to 5, and then strings up to 7. Whoa, no, don't do that. I think that's unnecessarily risky. I think I can just bounce Shieldred here, make them replay it, play Lotus here, and sack these two. And then when they replay Shieldred, we just bounce it with Flood Maw on end step, and then try to go off with strings, Valakut stuff. Harley Randy, thank you for the gifted sub to target player. Great. Exactly as we planned. And now we just need to draw something. Does that count? I think we start here. Because I think a win is going to require an Artist Talent in play anyway. Pitch this ley line. More mana. More mana. Cast Valakut, I guess. Pitch strings. All right. I don't think we can quite do it. We just don't have enough cards. We need to find, like, dig through time pretty bad. I guess this bounces Shieldred. But it's way too expensive. Yeah, and now we're basically toast. All right, so they hit us with Blood Tithe. We go to 4. They play Shieldred. We go to 2. And we just need to draw an answer to Shieldred off the top. That's not an answer to Shieldred, unfortunately. There's no way to level this up so Cathartic Pyre kills Shieldred either. Yeah. All right. Weird game. All right. I'll feel real bad if they manage to exile our graveyard. But we get to be on the play here. Okay. No Leyline here, but hand's pretty good otherwise. I'm not going to mulligan looking for it. I guess we sleight of hand first in case we draw a tap land. Floodmaw's kind of nice. Yeah, I'll take Floodmaw. All right. I'll bounce the Harvester. God, that sucks. Playing the bond. Yeah, I shouldn't have kept the bond. It just lets them get the duress and go blank back. I really hate this. Okay. Yeah. Kind of like has to be wish, right? Otherwise, there's just no way to ultimately win the game. Do we expect no removal and a way to play out Vizier? I really dislike playing out Vizier with this deck in particular, just because the artist talent, like you saw in game 2, just like fizzles pretty frequently if you get down below like 3 cards in hand. All right. So pour into this Shieldred doesn't feel, you know, outstanding. But I think we need to try. One mana short. Okay, well, we need a lot to go right here. We have 1, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Wish. Yeah, wish isn't good enough. Could wish for dig. But then we can't win. All right, well, we get one more crack at this. Yeah, we're just toast. Stupid Shieldred. I guess that expedition map was maybe a way to do it. Could have wished for Otawara. But then we don't have the hidden strings. Like, we can get rid of Shieldred, but then there's no way to actually win the game after that. All right, well, that sucks. So 2 and 3 in the Pioneer Challenge. We're just going to drop from here now. We can't possibly top 8. So there's that. And yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave it for today. Let's see who else is streaming. Great. Let's go on over to Jaffer. Yeah, Jaffer's great. Teammate, pioneer, person, and yeah, a good friend of mine. Definitely deserves your love and support. Spam some Kirby's when you get over there, and I will see you all next time, maybe for the challenge tomorrow.